Hi, my name is Gabriella and I am an artist. Mostly I do abstract art with plenty of details. I tell you, plenty of details. And I also do stop motion art, the one that goes like prr, prr, prr. So yeah. So how it all started. I remember when I was in nursery, I had my teacher and I drew a crocodile and she looked at it and she was like, wow, that's a really beautiful crocodile. I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, you're an artist, you should go on. And she really honestly inspired me. But she wasn't the only person who genuinely inspired me. My sister was an amazing artist, and I'll admit, okay, I was really jealous when I was small. I was like, my sister is an artist and I'm just there. And I was like, let her be my inspiration too, because I have that encouragement from like my teacher and my sibling, my sister, and then also my brother was an artist. I was like, this can't get any better. Like, it was really honestly cool. So when my teacher inspired me to like be an artist, I was like, I can do this. It's my calling. I want to be the artist. I was like, yeah, I mean, dreams are valid. I can work towards it. And that was my sister. I really love her so much. She really honestly inspired me a lot. She is an amazing artist. But you know what she did? She encouraged me. She held me by the hand. She was like, this is beautiful art. Keep at it. You know what? She really gave me motivation. And there's one person I thank is my sister. And my brother too. Okay. So, and we're not just two, like three. My brother also helped me a bit. He was like, yeah, do it. You can do it. Because, why not? If that's what you want to do, go for it. It's not going to limit you to just stay there. Just do it, go for it. And my biggest support system is my siblings. And if there's someone I'm going to be grateful for, so many people are my siblings, because they really honestly pushed me to just live that dream that I really wanted to live. So what genuinely inspires me to do what I want to do is stories. When I was a small kid, I just loved listening to stories. No matter how crazy the story was, trust me, I would just be there listening to stories. And I'd also tell my crazy stories themselves. So why stories inspire me is because in my art, I want to tell multiple stories. I just don't want it to be you see it as it is. I want you to see it and maybe find a meaning behind it. It has its own purpose. I know there are plenty of art like that, but I just want you to see, even if it's one section after another section after another section. And I just want you to see multiple places at different times, because each part of my art will have a story on its own. In addition, I really honestly find satisfaction in just filling my pages. I don't just like leaving my page with just one piece of art. As I said earlier, multiple stories. Whenever I draw and I feel like, it's just something missing. You might say it might be complete, but I just want to, to just let it flow and feel it. That's the satisfying part of the process. I'm just like, wow, it's just incredible. It's just... So when I was small, I remember I used to draw and people were like, oh my gosh, wow, you're a really good artist. And I used to draw for people. But there was this one day where there was this girl who, she brought prints of Snow White, Cinderella, and I was like, oh wow, that's beautiful. She gave everyone in the class except me. I was like, come on, just give me. And she was like, no, I can't give you. For some reason, she didn't say why. I don't know. I still don't know till today. I don't even know where she is. So she gave everyone else except for me. And I realized she was kind of jealous and everything. So that was something I kind of faced when I was small. I think most people would just like, push me to the side because I was a bit more different from them. It's kind of, a bit crazy. No, not the bad crazy, but, good crazy and everything. So, yeah. I also remember when I was actually, growing up. I'm still growing up though. back in high school, I was actually better in my art, because when I was small I used to draw really big eyes. I came back to drawing big eyes. They're really awesome in my art. I just love them in my art. Exaggerated looks. So back in high school, I remember people would be like, wow, you're an artist, can you draw for me? I used to make for people cards for their birthday. I used to draw people biology diagrams if I never used to do biology. Yeah, but I used to draw for them biology diagrams. The go-to person. If you needed anything drawn, it was me. But there was a limitation. I couldn't draw people's faces. So I'd find comments like, oh, you're not a real artist because, you know, you can't draw people realistically. And I remember there's a time my classmate came to class and she had drawn, I guess it's her brother or something. And everyone's like, wow, oh my gosh, she can draw so well. And then everyone just, for a second, ignored that I was an artist. Like everyone, for a second, they were like, oh, you know, I was not an artist. So they were really honestly trying to bring me down because I couldn't draw people realistically. So they're like, that's my limitation. I can't draw people realistically. So that's one thing I kind of realized. It's that some people won't like literally take you seriously as an artist, especially in my case, where they're like, can you draw people? And I'm like, no, but, and they're like, no, please. They're like, because, you know, that's the emphasis that's been put in the media today. You know, you have to like draw people realistically. Yet one thing that people haven't realized is that art is vast. It's not just about realism. There's also abstract, there's illustration. There's so much to art that's just not confined to just realism art. And I think that's one thing that literally we should spread awareness about, that there's plenty of art except from, you know, realism art. And that just because someone doesn't draw realistic, that doesn't mean that we should, you know, put them down and tell them you're not an artist because of that. Because I find that very archaic, as they say. Another challenge I kind of faced, but it was a minor challenge for me, was switching from pencil art to pen art. I really honestly thank my friend Fahari, because Pia has also been with me through my journey of my art, and he's really honestly helped coach and mentor me towards, you know, he just lets me do my thing. But if there's anything I need to, like, you know, he needs to help me with, he's always there for me. And, you know, he's the one who actually encouraged me to just switch, because I remember I was really honestly struggling. Like, this is struggling. Yes, for me it was a struggle. Well, you know, I'm drawing plenty of details, but, you know, I can't just draw like I'm a compass, obviously. You know, you can't maintain this forever. So I used to draw, and every time I draw, I'm like, I always, in a way, my hand would like try kind of like, you know, erase some of the things I've done, because, you know, sometimes I'd just be harsh with it, or I would just kind of lose confidence with what I'm doing with the art, because, you know, every time you draw with pencil art, it gives you the opportunity to erase, so you can like delete, you know, and everything like that. So as in, that thing was kind of like messing me up in a way. And you know what, he was like, look, listen, okay, you can just go with pen art, there's no problem. And you know, I started with pen art. At first I was scared, because I was like, I'm going to literally screw up. But then with time, I just got used to it. And now I fully transitioned to pen art. It's been a whole year right now, so that's pretty good, you know. Yeah. I also told you I'm a stop motion animator. Yes. So how it all started, it was 3 years ago, and Duos Festival came into Kilifi, and my sister was like, hey, you know what? You can actually sign up for Duos Festival. I was like, yeah, sure. So I took my art book. I was just fresh from high school, I think a few months from high school, because it happened in August, then, you know, I finished earlier in the year. So they were like, your art is really good. And you know what? I was supposed to go in the journalism section so I can make for them art for, you know, the magazine, which is like one of the projects that they were doing during at that time. But then my sister was like, you know what, do this. On the day of the auditions, just go for auditions. And then you can, you know, just go for auditions. I'm like, yeah, sure, there's no problem. So I went for the auditions in Pwani University, the library. So I went and I saw, oh, stop motion, let me see this. And then, I showed them my art and they were like, wow. And she was like, this is really good. And you know what? I don't know what happened. I was switched from journalism to stop motion. And they're like, you're no longer doing journalism, you're with us. And that's how they stole me from journalism. Just in a subtle way, not in a bad way. And I started doing stop motion. And then I realized I didn't even know what stop motion was at the time. I think I knew it, but I was like, oh, it's animation. Then I realized, wow, this is like really cool. It's amazing. Because, obviously, for those who don't know stop motion, it's like every picture you take like a frame. Like every movement you make, you take a picture. You take a picture. So it actually looks fluid like this. So if you're doing anything, it's just going to have that consistency based with the pace you're going to do and how much spacing. Okay, I make it sound complicated, but it's really easy and fun. So when we started stop motion, I really loved it. I don't know, it just, out of nowhere, I just felt like, wow, I was like, this is amazing. And then I realized stop motion was like animations like Frankenweenie, Corpse Bride, So I realized those were animations, stop motion animation Tim Burton did, and I really love them. My favorite was also Coraline, The Amazing Mr. Fox. So I was like, what? This is stop motion. I love them. And I was like, maybe in the future I can become like a stop motion artist. I mean, the sky is the limit. And everyone has a dream, and I worked towards it. And my teacher Isabella, I really honestly thank my teacher because she really helped me a lot. She was like, oh, just keep doing stop motion. It's amazing. Wow, beautiful work. And I have my team with me, and I guess that's where I met my team from. Duos Festival, and since that day, I think we've been inseparable. And our teacher Isabella, she keeps inspiring me every day. Not only me, but me and my teammates. She's like, oh, let's keep doing stop motion. And we've done stop motion. And you know what? I'm happy about the work we've done. And I'm really honestly proud. I mean, it's not just about digital art. Stop motion is also beautiful on its own. Even if people tell you it's labor intensive, if you have the passion for something, go for it. I mean, don't leave it hanging. If you have that opportunity, why don't you go for it? I mean, I know things are going to be hard, obviously, Life is not a straight line. Obviously, there and stuff like that. But if you have the opportunity to go for what you love and it's your passion, just go for it. I mean, we're all humans. We gotta do something in this world, Also, another challenge I face as an artist is I also paint on canvases. And one of the main challenges I kind of face is, and also it's not just me, it's also other artists, is also getting art material. Art material is expensive. We can't say it's not, there are some which are cheap, but obviously, cheap is also expensive. You're going to have something that's, low quality, and it might not do the work as it needs to do. And the ones that are high quality are going to be like, expensive and everything. So that's one of the challenges I face also. Pia, the materials are like expensive. Okay, so I guess that's one of the issues that most of us artists face. The materials are going to be at high price, the ones that genuinely will do the work as according to planned. And I guess also the government can intervene, and we can actually genuinely, as a country, we can actually have an art market which will be more sustainable to artists and more convenient to them. So we can like spread art, because I'm not going to bash my fellow creatives who are going to be spoken word and everything, although they are given more emphasis than maybe us artists ourselves. But we also realize that if people would say like spoken word, they actually get more attention than someone who'd actually be like, oh, stuff like that, because it's just spoken word. But for us artists, the art that we do, we can stay with it forever. It can be imprinted forever. For example, graffiti, you can have it for a long time, provided the government doesn't intervene. And maybe for us it might be seen as vandalism, and for them, in their perspective, it might also be seen as vandalism. So in terms of us, we're just doing art. For them, they maybe don't see art, and they'll just have to erase it so it can look normal civilian stuff and stuff like that. So that's all I just have to say. Emphasis on our artworks. That would really honestly be awesome. Like everywhere you just go, you just see beautiful artworks, and emphasis, as in we really honestly need a lot. I also talk with other artists as well, because it's an interactive process. You can't just be on your own. And there's some older artists who'd tell me that they really honestly fought hard to get like art groups and art funds for us as creatives, so at least we can thrive, because that thing wasn't there before. But because of their efforts, which I gladly thank them for, at least we have a few funds that are given to art groups and art organizations in Kenya, which is actually a good step that we're taking forward. As you can see, we're actually making progress. So I guess if we have more progress in the art industry, and we also have like education and awareness based on different art forms, I think it can be eye-opening, and everything can be, okay, we can't say everything will be splendid, but it can be better than it was before.